Vlahovic, Chiesa, Atletico Madrid connection, especially Vlahovic, because he could potentially still be on the move. Actually, every player. I think that's like the extensions we are making. A lot of them, and basically all of them, are technicalities. Not because we want to keep you here. Yeah, we want to keep you here, but we want to spread the wage. We want to do this. Like only actually Rugani out of contract, Chiesa running out of contract. The other ones are extensions for us to balance the books, basically. The Vlahovic one definitely is, like 100% is. And you said you still think one of them can leave. Chiesa, Vlahovic, Atletico, and you rather, or like if you need to choose one, you pick Vlahovic. I said all week, contract talks, all good. If an offer comes in, the club will think about it because they thought about it in the summer when everybody was like, what are you doing? So don't be shocked if we do that. But you go. You're I'm not saying convinced, but you think one of them is probably gonna leave or
I
could leave.
I think one of them could potentially be on the move. I get weird vibes, number one, from the Chiesa
I
extension.
agree.
The
One
fact
hundred.
that
Thanks.
they only want to extend him 1 year when they're extending everybody to 2028 and whatnot. It's that's a really weird one for me. Um, you're setting up everybody as pillars, you're spreading out salary, you're doing all this, but for him to be talked about in only a 1 year capacity, it like set off these alarms for me, like what's going on? Why 1 year for him? So I feel like there might be some doubts there with Juventus in him. I did have my guts were churning when he took that knock in the Italy game in the first touch and was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? He's
I
hurt
saw it
again.
too.
So maybe, just maybe, like there's some doubts there. With Vlahovic, I 1000% feel almost like I think we can all say he has not been worth the money, the price tag right now. Whose fault it is, I don't really care,
I
to be honest.
Not right
The
now.
fact of the matter is,
The
we can all
moment he
say he
signed,
has
he
not
wasn't
been
worth that
worth that
money.
price tag.
The moment he signed, he wasn't worth that money. I think that's where it starts because when
So
we paid that money, I remember I was on the show. I'm like, I'm happy. We're overpaying for obvious reasons. We were desperate. It was mid-season, and they took advantage of us, and we did what we need to do. So we did
I
we did overpay for him. I
I don't
100% agree.
agree. Or sorry, I don't disagree with anybody that says Vlahovic will go to an attacking team. He'll do okay. That's fine. I'm fine with it. But it might be in Juve's benefit to move this guy if we can get around what we like and spread it out against the team, because I think Juve needs to get away from these high splashes and work the way we used to and more methodically, and maybe 40 to 50 mil is our splash and we work around that kind of range. But I wouldn't be surprised with everything we're hearing about spreading his salary, extending, and just to make it a sweeter deal for people, because I don't think anybody's going to come in with him on that price tag. And everybody else that's extended has either gotten the same salary or a slight raise, but he will not be getting a slight raise. And even when you look at it from his end, I think he is going to be wanting to probably spread that salary out, because I also think he might be thinking about bailing out as well, to be honest. I just get weird vibes about the Chiesa extension. Some of the things just not lining up and not computing for me. But Vlahovic, I would not be shocked if he's moved in the summer. I wouldn't be at all.
I agree, and that's good that you said that because I was feeling alone on that part from the Chiesa one. If I need to pick one or two, like in terms of who do I think will be willing to leave, I will pick Chiesa. I think he's the guy who will say I will leave rather than Vlahovic. That's the feeling I have. But I agree.
Yeah.
If the offer comes in, the club will sit back down for Vlahovic. The Chiesa one, I 100% agree with you, and I'm extremely worried because maybe call me, I don't know, delusion, like whatever. I was expecting talks now, this break. I'm extremely
Yeah.
worried because there's a Euros. I'm not like if Italy's gonna make it, we will see. We will not see even. I don't know when they play. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Monday against Ukraine.
Monday.
Yeah.
So even if they lose, they can still get in, but we will only know in March. I don't know when they play those playoff games. I'm not sure. So we don't even know. Like the worst case scenario, we only know in March. You cannot let Chiesa go to the Euros 1 year left on his deal, because at that point you're gonna sell. Because if he plays well, Ramadani is coming in that office and he's gonna say, "Here's that piece of paper. It's 8 mil. Sign it now. Just
Yeah.
sign that." Because it's all good. The talks about good relationship. He doesn't want to. When I read the news that he's gonna sign that 1 year deal because he doesn't want to go on a free or whatever, I was like, oh, like that news already is extremely worried that is a thought. Like that's already in their minds, and I'm like, that's not good. If that's already,
Yeah.
if you come to the table day one of talks and that's already on the table, I'm like, this is worrying because
Yeah.
he and his Kez and his agent already had talks about, you know what, if I can leave, potentially I will do it. So like people say,
Chiesa
that's
is
not
only
true.
one of our 2 or 3 world-class players we even have.
Like potential world class. Yeah, he is the best player in the squad. Now Pogba is
Yeah.
out. The most talented player, it's Chiesa, in my opinion. Like pure talent,
Yeah.
right now it's him. But when I read that news, I was like, this is not good. This is not good. And when I see
No.
no talks now in these 2 weeks, I'm like, when are they gonna talk? Yes,
Yeah.
like there's time enough. I was like, this needs to get wrapped up now, like in 2023, basically. Like it needs to be drawn out, and that's why I'm pivoting back to the. I don't think he's happy. I don't think he's a player that's like, oh, I'm not scoring, I'm gone. But I think he needs to have some guarantees. I think that's the issue a bit as well. You know,
Yeah.
him being more of a focal point. The team maybe playing more in his uh, favor, like whatever. It needs, like, I truly believe that that's a sticking point right now. I don't think it's money. I don't believe, because I think Chiesa wants to be here, and if they ask Chiesa, you know what, we can give you the money, but we're gonna spread, we're gonna do this. I think he will be okay. Let's do that. I think it's more than just money and years. I really do that. I really do believe that. I don't know. I cannot say it's hands down. It's this. It's because he's not scoring goals, or he's playing as a wingback, basically. Or like as a second striker. Excuse me. I don't
Yeah.
think that's the thing. Like you can, how you say that? You can pinpoint it on that. It's that. That's the reason. But I think it's all a mix of it. I don't believe it's just money, because I think the club is willing to pay him 7 million euros. I actually believe that. I think they're open to do that. And maybe Vlahovic is gone. Maybe they're
Yeah.
like, okay, you're gonna get that money, but Vlahovic, you're out of the door. Like I'm not sure, but it is
It's weird
worrying.
vibes.
It's
It's weird
very
vibes.
weird vibes, and it's entering Dybala post 100% done deal
Yes.
stage. Not the
Yes.
previous one, but when Romeo said 100% no issues, and then it completely snowballed into his agent talking to Inter. Like, what is happening here? And then
A couple of us literally said this is starting to take on the same feels as the Dybala saga,
yeah,
and
it's
it
it's
kind of
getting
is.
done. It's getting done, but we don't see anything getting done. The
Yeah.
news coming out suggests it's not getting done, basically. So it's worrying, because if you lose Chiesa, I look at that squad and I'm like, I might sound harsh. I will be like, I don't like you guys. Like, I don't like many of you guys in here. Like, I cannot get attached to any of these players, if you know what I mean. But Chiesa as a player, I would pay money to go and see, if that makes any sense. I would
Yeah.
pay money to go watch Juve no matter what. I'm just putting it out there. But you go to the stadium, you're like, Chiesa's playing, because he's Chiesa. You cannot lose him. Like, for what he represents, Italian, he wants to be here. Like, this is something the club cannot mess up. They just can't,
Yeah.
because it will look extremely poorly on everyone. The fan base will lose their minds. The media will be like, you're losing Chiesa to the Premier League or whatever. Like, this cannot happen. Like, that cannot be the case. Are
Yeah.
you in that much of a financial problem? Is that the reason? But then again, you're Juve. This cannot happen. If you had Son playing and he's going to the Premier League, I think everybody will like, you know what? But he's Italian. This cannot happen. Like, this is, for me, it's worrying. What's happening now is I'm in not panic mode, but I'm in early worrying mode already because I have a weird feeling about it. A really weird feeling.
Yeah, I just like I told you, I feel one of those guys is gone this summer. I really do. But I
Can agree.
believe it's going to be Vlahovic.
I like if the club can choose, I yeah, like it's gonna be
I just don't
Vlahovic
understand the talks about a 1 year only for Chiesa to 2026. That to me
because
doesn't make sense.
the story
Like
was
that's the only part that is very very weird for me to wrap my head around with. But we'll see what happens when talks actually happen, where it's
yeah.
finalized, if it does get finalized. But right now, yeah, it's definitely worth watching on both players, and it's not cut. It's weird. I wouldn't be surprised with some major changes. I think this summer is going to be pretty wild for Juventus. I actually expect a lot of
If
things to
we
go
get
on.
if we get in the Champions League as well, because it's more money. But I agree, we're gonna sell, and it's gonna look different because we have so many question marks. Like this summer was a quick fix, basically, but now you're stuck. You have that Chiesa issue. Vlahovic's not really an issue. He still has a long term deal. It's like, are you gonna move him on? Yes or no, basically. But Sule could be back. You know, what are you gonna do with McKennie, Miretti, Fagioli, Rabiot? What's that? Another 1 year deal?
Yeah,
Like there's so many question marks. The Chilio, are you gonna finally move him on? You know, it sounds harsh, but like
like
you need to get these
there's going to
players
be a
out.
big shift, I think. Like
Things are
we're going to
gonna.
make champions. We're going to make Champions
Oh
League.
yeah,
We'll have more resources there. I think you're going to see that new minority owner come in. I think that's going to bring us more resources too. And I actually think our new sponsorship for the kits is going to be tied in with that sale. I got a feeling it's going to be one of two big American
yeah.
outfits. One of them
That's
that
a good
comes
thing.
in.
Like the sponsor thing, I forgot of that. Like there's no news on
And
that.
then and I think that's going to be tied in with who they sell to as a minority owner and whatnot. And that's going to have a big flux. And all of that is going to help usher this big boost I think we get in the summer getting ready for next season. So
To
I think there's going to be a lot going on this summer.
to piggyback on that, the links now for January kind of fit into that scenario because we're all linked with loan moves with option. It feels like the club needs help now, but they don't want to make any decision because personally,
Yeah.
I'm not sure Lakers going to be here past this season. It's not you cannot I don't think you can pin that down.
Remember what I told you on the last one we did? I said I got a feeling he walks away at the end of this
Yeah,
year, and
yeah.
you were
And
like, "Ah,
yeah, I was like, it could be, but when I see these links, loan plus option, it feels like the club doesn't really want to make a full commitment. You know, maybe Samardzic, but that's a player like he's young. If another coach comes in, that will work probably.
yeah."
You know, but other than that, it all loan with option, no obligation, just
Dry
option.
loans, like dry loan for Sancho, like it's all
It's all
just
quick fixes to
nothing
help
they're
out.
committing
Yeah,
to. Yeah.
which could play into that. You know, let's stall everything until the end of the season, then we will sit down. Are you gonna say Allegri? No, Rabiot. You know what? You're gone. We're gonna do this, this,
Yeah.
this, and this. You know, and that's the. So I agree. I think that summer is gonna be busy. Um, but you need to keep Chiesa. Like whatever you do, you cannot move Chiesa.
I
Like
fully agree
you can
on that one.
replace. You can replace McKennie, Wea. You can probably replace Vlahovic. You know, you can replace Rabiot. You can replace Chiesa, but I don't think we have the money to replace Chiesa. We don't have the money. No, I'm pretty sure we don't have the money for Chiesa. Like that's the issue. Like you can replace players. All players are replaceable. But in our situation, we don't have the money to replace Chiesa. We don't. I think we have money to replace almost everybody else in that squad.
Yeah.
Like maybe I sound a bit harsh because Bremer is playing well, but like you know what I mean. Like this is more of a unique-ish. Like there are not a lot of players out there who play like Chiesa or can have an impact like Chiesa, if you know what I mean, or like
Yeah.
carry that aura like Chiesa. Like it's a player you cannot lose. Like you just can't. Like I don't know what you need to do,
Not
but
on
you
our
can't.
squad. He's too
He's
crucial for us and our and play despite the misses, despite the service, despite it all. You absolutely cannot you cannot get rid of Chiesa. Like he has to stay. Has to.
Yeah, I agree. We're gonna wrap this one up. Let me see because I put a tweet out. If there were any questions, excuse me, um, and there were. So let me check this out really quickly. Let's see if there are some new ones out there. Why can I not find the tweet? Oh yeah. It's all about. I'm not gonna read who's gonna replace Allegri because I don't want to really get into that. Like if that's what we need to talk about at the end of the season, we will. But now it's I don't know. If the team is strengthened in January, will the playing style change? I think we already discussed that. Playing style. I think the big picture, no. I don't think we're gonna play a 4-2-3 because I think that's gonna change playing style. But if you bring a player in like Samardzic, it will add something we don't have. And
Yes.
maybe you can link that to playing style. I think it's more about moments in the game will look different. If that makes any sense, it's not gonna be
If there's not a
day and night.
catastrophic change
Yeah,
from what's going on now, we won't see a change.
I don't think we need more than one player to have a complete overall in the way we want to play. Like we need
Yeah.
certain fullbacks and whatever if you want to switch to a back four, but that's something that's definitely not gonna happen in January. That's when I talk about Sancho every day, and I'm like, what is he like? He's coming in. Where is he gonna play? Like, it's not a signing that makes a lot of sense. It looks real. It is real. Because it's coming from good sources. I I struggle to see what the point is. In the
It
setup we
doesn't
play
make
now.
sense to me. It
So
doesn't.
like Phillips makes sense. It makes more sense. Samardzic makes more sense. Obviously, even in Højbjerg, I don't want Højbjerg, but it makes sense.
One midfielder like Samardzic-esque and one of the attacking midfielders like a Sudakov or Sperzian makes sense 1-1. That makes sense to me.
Never
That
thought
makes
about that.
sense to me based on how we play. Like that makes more sense to me.
That's what we're missing because when we talk about Phillips, I like Phillips, I do, but when the argument is, oh, Locatelli needs a breather, I'm like, I agree, but if we want to push, I don't think we need a backup. We need somebody who can make a difference
Yeah.
alongside, and I get that point. And Phillips can play alongside Locatelli and Rabiot, but it's too much of the same, if that makes sense. They're
Yeah.
not the same
Big
player,
time.
but you're gonna get kind of the same output, and which is nothing, like close to nothing. So I agree. We need, I think more an attacking midfielder. Like even the DePaul links, I'm like, good. Maybe when he was playing at Udinese lately, I don't really see if he's gonna make that much of a difference. I can be completely wrong, obviously.
He's switched his play completely. He's not the same guy as he was at
That's my
Udinese, and now I feel like he's less valuable to us than he would have been when coming right out of
I
Udinese when
agree.
I wanted him.
Yeah,
Because like I was like, man, that's exactly what we need in the midfield is the way he used to be and the way he was playing. But
yeah,
now I'm not seeing it either, and I'm not sure I would spend on that, to be honest.
I
So
agree. I agree. I 100% agree on that. So